And we're live.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Yay. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob, what's new?
Where'd Jared go?
Ah.
Oh, Jared must be typing something. Welcome to Office Hours. It's been a while, huh?
Yeah, it's been a full season of True Detective. E3's come and gone. What's changed, man? What's going on? What's new?
Well, I haven't watched the new season of True Detective, so I can't report on that, but I can say that we got bought by Razer, so I don't know, maybe we'll change this to Razer Dev Support Office Hours in the near future.
Yeah, I was gonna say everyone can see. We still have the logos and the OUYA colors on our banners, but we're doing it. We're taking care of this step by step, basically.
Yeah,
And we'll do it live.
I've got a red line and then a Cortex logo, so it's
No, that's right. You have the Cortex logo.
we're like Razuya right now.
Ooh,
So
yeah. It's like a holiday theme.
You're throwing out some terms already. What's Cortex TV?
Yeah, what is
Cortex
Cortex TV?
TV. Well, Cortex in general is the Razer storefront where you can go to on your PC to find all the best deals from all around the world of PC right now. And the Cortex storefront is what you will eventually see on your Razer Forge, which is the migration of the OUYA storefront.
Nice.
Tim's like, I approve this message.
Yeah.
So is that a satisfactory answer, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I dropped
You
my
almost
paper.
got me there.
But yeah, Bob is correct. We are all part of Razer. So Kelly, Bob, myself, Tim, and pretty much most of the people that you know at OUYA are with Razer now. In fact, Bob, I believe you're at the new secret headquarter land in San Francisco.
Yeah, I am. I'm in like a room because I just ran to the closest room. So this is, I think, just like a general use phone call room. So maybe one day it'll have branding behind right here or something. But yeah, we're in the heart of San Francisco. Beautiful view. I can actually see part of the baseball park from where I'm sitting. So that's pretty cool.
Delightful.
And from a bunker somewhere in the Los Angeles area, Mr. Jared Yeager.
Hello, everyone.
Similarly, somewhere in the LA area is Kelly Santiago.
Hello, 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 hello.
And in the Seattle region of the Pacific Northwest region is Mr. Tim Grover.
Hey.
Matt Kahn from GamerX and Read Only Memories says hello.
Hey, Matt.
First comment from the question area. I don't know if Jared, are you checking on sometimes those guys over at OUYA Forum?
Yes.
Saying things, but I don't know.
No, we've got questions. I got a few sent in to me already from our friend Killswitch.
Yeah.
So
Are these live questions, or he's
these
like
are
been
some that he
queued up?
sent in advance.
Oh.
One is there going to be any change in the chain of command since there is a new parent company? As far as developers are concerned, we are still all your key point people to talk to. So Kelly is head of dev relations, but this time being what a flat circle, we are a flat group, so you can talk to all of us at any point to talk about any of your games or anything that you're working on for OUYA/Razer. So yeah, office hours, email address at ouya.tv. Still use that. And again, you can reach out to us at all of our regular email addresses you've been using before for any dev relations needs. Other question.
I would just add also
Yes.
follow Min on Twitter if you haven't already, the CEO of Razer, because he's a pretty cool guy and really entertaining. He goes to a lot of gaming events and stuff, and I don't know, he's just super responsive online, and it's fun.
Yeah, he will speak out directly to fans, so he's quite responsive, has quite the following, I think, for that very reason. So yeah, definitely admin, follow him. You'll get probably breaking news from him just as quick as you will from any of the Razer official Twitter and OUYA official Twitter accounts as any other. So good point, Kelly. Other question, will OUYA or Razer still be funding games? Thought I read that Razer doesn't care for exclusives. That was more in terms of as far as keeping something exclusive to a particular platform. So I think as you saw on Min's AMA, and you should definitely check out all the question answers from that if you haven't already. I think those are still archived. Anything that's kind of will be published under the OUYA name will be dispersed on various storefronts via Android TV. So you could have a game published by OUYA that will be on the Cortex storefront, Android TV, Fire TV, what have you in that space. So as far as exclusives goes, it was more like we're not going to hog something to, you have to only get this device to play this game, if I'm speaking correctly towards that AMA question. Last piece was, will developers still be able to receive a unit to work on their games and get it right? Well, any of you have OUYAs right now, you can use the latest SDK and actually work on that towards working on a Forge device. And as far as getting access to Forge devices, we're working on an official plan that will be put out for devs as far as how it'll be communicated. We should have info for that. Otherwise, yeah, if you have a Forge, you have an OUYA, you can work on your games right now. And actually, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, even in the past, if you didn't have an OUYA, you could still develop for the platform without the device. But maybe you can give some more info on that.
Yeah, we just have to test it for you or something. Like some people do emulators and stuff, but you're going to need the OUYA launcher and the OUYA store inside of your virtual machine. So, but they can test gameplay on they've used a Nexus 7 before, or some other device if they don't have an OUYA.
Sweet. And I think as part of Grokking with Groutman in a few minutes, you're going to have some info on getting your OUYA game playing nice on Forge consoles, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we have a new documentation page they can read, and then we've gone and updated most of the engines. So I can show off that in a little bit.
Sweet. You guys played any new games since we last hung out? Or no?
I've been playing Life is Strange, the Square Enix game, episodic, narrative, sort of Walking Dead style, but without combat, so even more my speed, which I love.
Nice. There's a couple people at the Razer office that are trying out Heroes of the Storm, so I tried that a little bit yesterday. It's pretty fun.
I got to play, gosh, I'd say last week, I got to check out a game that we can actually announce is coming to OUYA in a week ahead, which is The Bridge from Ty Taylor, highly praised, awesome indie game. We'll be posting the trailer for it on our YouTube channel either later today or tomorrow, so you can check that out. It'll be coming out next Tuesday, and definitely looking forward to featuring that and showing that off on the storefronts. And I guess while I'm at it, speaking of the storefronts, you can still get Flash Out 2 for 50% off through the rest of the week, going, I think, until Friday. That's correct. So definitely check that out for sure. And then I have been checking out a little bit more of the Pinball Arcade Season 4 content goodness. And again, all that's free to try. So highly recommend checking out all those new tables.
Nice. Did you have any more questions, Jared? Coming in on
that
your
was
side?
everything from Mr. Killswitch.
Okay.
I'm also at OUYA Forum Land as well. I know there were some other questions that I think Tim answered for Eldon McGinnis. I don't know if you want to reiterate any of those answers, Tim, the main ones. I think you actually replied to him on Twitter, but maybe that response might be just good to share overall for devs.
Yeah, I did a little Twitter with Eldon, and then we talked over Skype for a little bit. He was trying to set up his virtual machine to have the store on it, and really that's not something we can do yet. But in the meantime, it's kind of part of that doc too. So for now, just test on your OUYA, and then we'll test it on the Forge for you until the next drop comes, and then everybody can test the store APIs. It's the same. You can publish for the Forge and the OUYA at the same time. It'll use the same store APIs. So yeah, if you test on the OUYA, it'll probably work on the Forge, and we can try it for you.
Sweet. That might have been all of the facts with Jared Yeager.
Yeah. I played some Half-Life 2, and I played Master Chief Collection, Halo.
Sweet, man.
No, I think the best facts today are going to come from Tim and his list of awesomeness for getting your games ready for Forge greatness.
Well, in that case, I think it's time to grok with Grobman.
Sure. Okay. So, yeah. So I've gone through all the different engines, and I'm posting new plugin updates for each of the engines. And to help with this process, we put together a Forge doc. I'll make the font a little bit bigger here. And there's a general intro. We've got a table of contents, and then it goes right into the specs. The details about where to get a Forge TV. You can find those on Amazon in the Razer zone. There's a link to the specs on the Forge controller. And then there's the general notes of if you try to sideload your OUYA game right on the Forge right now without the OUYA framework on it, those APIs aren't going to exist, so it won't work. There'll be a future update that's going to happen, which will have the OUYA framework on it, and then that'll support your in-app purchases and that whole API and the controller support and stuff. So that's coming, and we just email office hours for some details if you're a developer to maybe get an early access to that for when that goes live. And then, yeah, I've gone through most of the engines. There's just a few that I haven't published yet, like I'm still doing support for Marmalade, still doing support for Unreal, and right now I'm working on HTML5 support and Construct 2 support, and I'm finally getting around to wrapping that in something called Cordova. So we'll see what the performance is like when I get that done. And then I've published plugins for Corona, so that's a Lua-based engine. All you have to do is, if you already had the OUYA plugin, just update it or rebuild, and it'll pull down the latest plugin for that one. For Game Maker, we were waiting on, when was that beta drop going to happen, and it happened. So here, I'll pop into that one. So in Game Maker, I've released a Game Maker extension that you import into your project, and so you can download it here. And then you just import the Game Maker extension, and then you're good to go there. Just make sure you're on the Game Maker beta channel, and that'll download the latest update. And then you'll need that Android add-on to be able to publish to Android devices. So that's Game Maker. Regular.
Tim, so the best things first is just to figure out what engine you have and click through and then follow the links.
Yeah. So developers will know what engines they're using, and then really it's just about updating to your latest plugin, and that will give you Forge TV support. Sweet. And then go through the store like usual, build your game, put it in the developer portal, and then I don't know if the checkbox is there right now for Forge TV, but you could either submit it that way or send us a Dropbox link or some kind of link to your build, and our QA can test it on the Forge, because we have the OUYA framework on our Forges.
Yeah, and on that note, Carl in QA is going through a lot of OUYA games right now and seeing what works and what doesn't. So devs, you might get an email from Kelly, Jared, or me about just if you repackage with these plugins Tim's talking about, it should solve all of the issues, and they're pretty basic issues, I guess, which Tim is right about to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah, some of them are pretty quick fixes. For example, Tim helped out our friend Badam with Royal Heroes, and I think within a day or two, he just had to switch it so that on a Forge it would show Forge buttons versus always the OUYA buttons, and super quick fix. And there's a lot of games that are in that boat. So in some cases, very little additional changes involved.
Yep, Badem is on Corona, so he just had to republish. And then, yeah, there's this button image thing you're talking about. So on the OUYA, you have one set of buttons, and when you're on the Forge, you have another set. And we have a API inside of OUYA Everywhere that will let you get the button images at runtime. Otherwise, you can just code it in there. There's an API for getting the device hardware. So if it says Razer Forge, then you use the Forge set. Otherwise, use the OUYA set. And there's also a Mojo set, and it's just part of the OUYA Everywhere framework. So when you submit your game, Carl and the QA guys are checking to make sure that the right button images come back. So it might be something you didn't have before. You might have hard-coded your OUYA button images, and you just have to make sure both sets are coming back. So back to the engine list, Java. We have a SDK examples for the OUYA stuff, and I updated the virtual controller example to have there's the runtime button images there. So I've updated the example in Java to handle OUYA Everywhere's input support so that you can use the Razer controller, and it will map to the OUYA buttons in your game. And then I added a bunch of different controller mapping files, so a whole bunch of controllers are going to work on the Forge in the next update, and they'll be compatible with the OUYA Everywhere input. So that'll be cool. I also added another example where there's a servo virtual controller example in there, so you can pull out those controller button images from that example. Okay, so that's Java. Also, I did monogame. So I updated monogame for the Forge. This is updated all the way up to 3.2. I was running into some OpenAL issues with the 3.4 upgrade, so I've been talking to those guys and getting their samples supported on the Forge. But if you're on 3.2, then monogame you'll be able to update and get your game working for the Forge. And then Unity. So Unity, there's another one in the release section. As long as you're on the Android platform, then you target you'll target Android, and then you'll pull in the core package, and then that lets you build and run to the OUYA. And I have an updated Unity package here for Forge, and you can import that one, and that will give you Forge support for Forge TV for your Unity game. So yeah, so there's a set of the popular engines. If your engine isn't listed, just ping me and I'll get support for whatever engine you're on. So then there's the 2 steps. First step, upgrade the plugin. Second step, update your images, and then you submit it to the developer portal. And then if you want, there's the link to the Razer example of the virtual controller, so you can, if you want to use those images, you can. So yeah, should be pretty straightforward to publish your game onto the Forge TV.
Nice.
And that's everything.
Cool. Well, if there's no questions, we have a few more minutes.
I just saw some people asking about can QA start, if someone submits a game right now, can they request the game to be tested on Forge as well?
I think it's like a whitelist process. And so
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we need to get that feature, like that ability in there, and that's coming soon. And then for now, if you just email us at office hours, we can probably walk you through it. Does that sound right, guys?
Sounds good.
Yep. Just shoot a Dropbox link or whatever you have to the build, and we can test it on the Forge.
Yeah, the only thing we can't do right now is test in-app purchases on it.
I can test in-app purchases on the Forge too. That's part of having the framework on there. Yeah, that all works for our QA department. So you guys have to wait till the next update, but that works.
So then for now they should go through us, and then we'll update devs when they have the that update for them. Mm-hmm. That sound right, Tim?
Yeah, it'll go on the newsletter, and we'll make a big fuss about when it's going out.
Nice. Like a good fuss once in a while.
Yep.
Cool. Well, the camera's stuck on me, so I can go first for the food game. Maybe I can't. I haven't played the food game in a while.
I know, I'm like totally blanking.
It's been so long, so you could technically use whatever. You could submit your greatest thing in the last several weeks. If you guys got anything.
That's too long.
Okay.
I've been
Last
really
week, then.
obsessed lately with eating macaroni and cheese on top of spinach. Because it's like all the good of macaroni and cheese. But then you don't feel so guilty because you also had a ton of spinach.
That sounds awesome. I had a vegetarian lunch on Friday that was good. It had like a tofu grilled steak thing and like quinoa, and there was like a kale salad with yams and like a cauliflower thing, all on a plate.
Ooh,
It was
that
pretty
does
good.
sound good.
And on a plate? Wow. I had really good giant stuffed portobello mushrooms this past Sunday evening. No, Saturday, sorry. With breadcrumbs and then other little bits of other mushrooms in there and some lightly grilled white onions because I don't like the red onions. Yeah, drizzled a little bit of olive oil with butternut squash ravioli, fresh Parmesan on it on the side. That was really good.
Man, you're so much better at just describing anything, it seems like, Jared. That sounds amazing.
It's from my time in QA when I had to describe steps for bugs.
So, Tim, this is your chance, because otherwise, in true Office Hours fashion, Jared is about to clinch this.
Yep. Well, I went to the Olive Garden, got the ravioli. Comes with unlimited breadsticks and soup. So then I got a side of, I got the minestrone soup and then the extra sauce you get, and I put the extra sauce into my minestrone soup and with breadsticks, and that was better than the ravioli. So can't think of the name of the sauce, but it was pretty dang good.
That's awesome. I think Bob.
Tim wins. Tim wins.
Tim,
I yield.
Tim wins with all you can eat breadsticks. Yeah.
They need to hire you at Olive Garden to come up with the new stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Next week, Tim's is going to have a ton of free Olive Garden stuff in his the whole behind him. All of the consoles and stuff are going to be gone. It's just going to be breadsticks and free sauce, bagged pasta.
Yep, gift certificates to Olive Garden. That's right.
Yeah, because I just say Olive Garden goes the extra distance. It's not all you can eat. It's actually unlimited. So because they let you take it home.
That sounds good. Well, on that note, there's one more question, which is, when is Tim getting a Forge TV box to put behind his head?
Yeah, I couldn't do it until now because we couldn't talk about it. But yeah, I could
You want to ceremoniously put one right now?
Get it? Sure, I've got one around here somewhere. Let's see.
Yay!
Good question, John. Nathan Felton.
This also
yeah.
answers the question if Tim ever gets up off the couch.
He does.
It's true.
For those of you that thought he was attached to it.
Yeah, I was stapled on there pretty good.
Here it is.
So yeah, there's the Forge TV box. It's kind of hard to tell from the side. I could do that. So there you go.
Little logo there and everything.
Yeah. Boom.
It's on. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have an excellent rest of your weeks, everybody.
Yeah, good to be back, guys.
Yeah, we're back, baby.
All right. Well, for Mr. Jared Yeager, Kelly Santiago, Tim Grabman, and myself.
Hey. Bye.
Bye, everyone.